Breaking news, Grizzlies make multiple major moves as they look to combat their injury situation with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey. GM Zach Kleiman not wasting any time getting a new big man. We knew this was in the works, but now the Grizzlies are about to put pen to paper for their new big man, Jock Landale. We'll get to that in just a moment, but what's going on, everybody? Jared Alatorre working for the weekend on another episode of Grizzlies Digest. Just want to say thank you so much to all the supporters out there. We have reached 1,000 subscribers. That is huge, so we can expand our sources a little bit more. Like I said, maybe get you some live streams once we get regular season up and going. We'll see how that goes as we get closer into the season, but so glad to see it. Thank you so much to everybody. It truly does take a lot in going into making these videos, so we really do appreciate it. And for those of you who have joined the Grizzlies Digest family, thank you so much. We hope to continue to get to know you more as we get into this off season and into the regular season. But 89% of you watch these videos, you're just not subscribing for some reason. Hey, I just told you we reached 1,000 subscribers, and we're fighting so hard to get you all this content. So hit that subscribe button, free 99, as Tristan says. Don't miss out, because we got some huge news to get to, and that is this: ESPN's Shams Charania saying the Memphis Grizzlies are trading center Jay Huff to the Indiana Pacers for 1 second-round pick and 1 second-round pick swap, sources tell ESPN. So Jay Huff now with the Pacers, the Grizzlies now getting 1 second-round pick, 1 second-round pick swap. So this is huge because, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember, the Grizzlies on draft night traded up. They got 5 spots sooner to get Cedric Coward. So basically, and they traded picks, and they got their guy in Cedric Coward, but the majority of those picks are back. I mean, it's almost like they were lost for about a week or so, but now Zach Kleiman, he's got the majority of that trade that he initiated for Cedric Coward, he's got that back. So this is pretty next level work by Zach Kleiman. I'm wondering if someone else or something else is going to happen. Like I said, we don't know what the situation is right now with Brandon Clark. Is there another move to be made? Is this basically it? Do we just have to wait for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey to get healthy? Leave a comment down below on your thoughts about that. But 6 minutes after this headline dropped, then came this. ESPN's Shams once again saying free agent center Jock Landale has agreed to a deal with the Memphis Grizzlies. Sources tell ESPN Landale solidifies the Grizzlies front court as the team and is a free agent of SIG Sports reached terms. So that's huge. And for Jock Landale, I think that he's not as tall as Zach Edey, but you need a center in order for this to work. You can't be starting Brandon Clark, Marvin Bagley. I mean, they clearly didn't feel good about Jay Huff, and that's why they traded him. But I think that Jay Huff was caught in a pretty bad time. Because who knows, if Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey don't get injured, you keep Jay Huff as that reserve role coming in off the bench. He's a long-range shooter. He's a good slasher. High percentage player in the paint. I mean, the Indiana Pacers are getting a good one. But for Jay Huff, do you think that if Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey don't go down, does Jay Huff stay on the team? Does this move even happen? I don't know. Something to think about. But either way, the Memphis Grizzlies are getting those picks back that they traded on draft night, and also getting their big man. Because for the Grizzlies, you can't be starting Brandon Clark and Santi Aldama, because Aldama is clearly going to move into the starting 4 spot once opening night comes. But you're looking at Brandon Clark and you're going, okay, well, in order for this to work, we cannot start two true power forwards. Like for Ja Morant, and in order for that to work, we need a true five. You need a true center off a pick and roll, off pick and pop. And Landale's a pretty good long-range shooter. With Houston, he was involved in some crunch time moments last year with Houston. Now, I see Landale, especially when Jackson Jr. and Edey come back, I see Landale as like a lower minutes bench guy, but this is the kind of center that Memphis needs to get, and they got it. Jock Landale, congratulations. You're going to become a Memphis Grizzly. So, going outside of Memphis for a second, this was when Jock Landale was back in Houston, and Jock saying how there's a lot of politics involved in the NBA, and he's talking about losing minutes to Steven Adams. And you think, well, it's not his fault because he's Steven Adams. I mean, Steven Adams is one of the league's like most prolific screen setters. And not to mention that Adams is much older than Landale. So I think Landale just needs to find his place. I think he was losing identity with Houston, and with the Clint Capella signing, Clint Capella coming back to Houston, that kind of had the writing on the wall for no more Jock Landale in Houston. And so this is kind of how, if you're a Memphis fan, you're like, well, I don't, does he complain a lot? Well, I mean, I don't know. But he's talking about Steven Adams, and he's saying, to Steve's credit, he puts in a lot of work. This dude is wild with how much he works. There were times in the year where it was hard and frustrating, perhaps. I thought I was the better option, but you sit back and look at the playoffs, and it made sense. So he is basically saying that Steven was the guy, and he just had to adjust to that. But I think he's a great personality. I think Landale is going to find his place in Memphis here. I don't know if he's a long-term guy, whether or not that happens. I mean, that's obviously that's not for us to judge it for the beginning of the regular season. But I think that he has a place on this team for what Memphis is trying to do for the first month and a half, 2 months of the regular season. So let's see how it works. And here's the updated depth chart. So it still has Jay Huff on there, but they've added Coward, they've added Ty Jerome. So they have Zach Edey out, Jackson Jr. day-to-day. They have Brandon Clark day-to-day, Morant day-to-day. So let's say this. So Jay Huff, let's just act like he's obviously not on the team anymore, but put Jock Landale in that spot. I mean, you're basically looking at Aldama, that starting four, and then look at Brandon Clark. I mean, I don't know how it's all going to shape up for the regular season. I mean, we still have to figure things out about Jaren Jackson Jr. and how long exactly he's going to be out for, because we still don't really have so much detail. We only have so much details on that, so we'll figure out what happens. But for Memphis, they got their big man. Now, we knew they needed a big man for the first month and a half, maybe 2 months of the regular season, and they got that with Jock Landale. But that is breaking news here at this hour. I was rushing to make this video, but it is what it is. The news, it does not wait for you. That's what happens. Jared Alatorre saying thank you so much for watching this episode of Grizzlies Digest. If you like this video, you can like this video, comment on this video, share this video, leave a comment down below your thoughts on Jock Landale entering Memphis, and Jay Huff. Hey, he's an Indiana Pacer, and I think the Pacers are getting a great one. And also the Grizzlies, hey, they're known to build in the draft. They're known to build on those picks. What do you think about that? Leave a comment down below. And thank you so much. For 1K subscribers, thank you so much for watching the video. We have so much coming for you here in the future. Because we reached that goal, we're only going to grow so much more. We're going to give you much more content. Believe me, we are on the rise. So thank you so much for joining this episode of Grizzlies Digest. We'll see you in the next video, and peace.